Humans are so powerful, they become powerless if they truly believe it. Belief is a self-imposed ceiling. Humans don't lose power because it's taken from them. They lose it the moment that they internalize limits as facts instead of stories. It's the paradox of life. Everything you believe is true, whether you believe you're capable or incapable. Our experience tells us this. I know I'm not the only one. You clicked on this video because you believed the title of the video to be true. I've made a video in the past where I said everything in your life is limited by what you believe about yourself. Same idea here. You know, it's the paradox of potential. The more capacity that you have to shape your life, the more dangerous it becomes by proxy because you're convinced that you can't. That is what we all struggle with. When you actually know that you are the architect of your life, it becomes scary because now you actually have to chisel the granite. You have to sculpt that life, and you understand that you can mess it up because the chisel's in your hand. I said this story before, but when I was in high school, I used to play on the basketball team, and I was a big because I'm 6'5", so I was a big, and normally bigs don't shoot threes, but I love to shoot threes in practice, and I was really good at it in practice. In the games, however, I never made a single three. Okay? Then what happened was me and my friends, we worked at the park district, so we had access to the facilities, and we used to do this thing where we would, in the middle of the night, we'd go there because we knew how to disarm the alarm and we had the keys and everything. So we'd go there and we would play basketball up until like 3, 4 in the morning, like religiously. We do this all the time back in high school. I know it sounds like a crazy story, but there was one night where we went to go shoot hoops, and I wanted to test how many shots I could make out of 100. So I shot 100. My boys were rebounding for me. And I made, no exaggeration, I made 63 shots out of 100. 63%, which is like really good. I didn't make one the entire season. Granted, I didn't attempt many, but the entire change was my belief. Like, I believed that I could perform well, and then that naturally happened. You have to understand that power, it doesn't disappear, it just becomes dormant. Belief doesn't erase ability, it suppresses it. And so you can always gain it back, which is in some way comforting. The same force that could build a life gets redirected into avoidance, right? It gets redirected into self-sabotage, distraction. Once you are fully aware of esoteric knowledge and you understand how your own beliefs shape everything, it's almost like an all or nothing situation. Like, you either are all in and you believe you can do it, or you're not. Because the second that you let an ounce of self-doubt come in, it's a wraps. Like, you can't go anywhere with it. That's what's so crazy. External control thrives on internal surrender. Okay, systems, expectations, authority, these things only become absolute when individuals stop believing that they can resist. They stop believing that they can choose differently or endure discomfort. It's hard for us to imagine where we could go in the future and us actually being able to achieve the things that we want. And so by default, it's almost like a defense mechanism where we're like, okay, yeah, that's just not a reality. That's not possible. I think that humans are naturally narcissistic. I think that when people call someone a narcissist, they're not understanding that it's not binary. I think every human is a narcissist, so it's a spectrum. So on this end of the spectrum, you're gonna have it. This end of the spectrum is like the healthy amount where, you know, you have to like take care of yourself and stuff like that. So that's why you're a narcissist. And then this end is the extreme end where you're doing unhealthy things. You think you're intrinsically more valuable than other people. You harm others. You sort of believe that others are simply a means to an end for you, stuff like that. But when people say, oh, a narcissist, they're talking about this end of the spectrum. They're not, because they think it's binary. And so the reason that I'm relating it to this is because it gets scary where you have to find that line between like super confident and then a narcissistic. Some of you guys might have seen that movie Marty Supreme recently. I made a video on that in on like my short form content. People loved it. I basically said, like, if you look at the greats, they all had egos. They all like just had a delusional sense of self-belief. I'm from Chicago, you guys know, so I've always looked up to Kanye. Kanye is the epitome of using self-belief to propel the life that you want. And this is something that like everyone understands and knows. It's sometimes hard for us to put it into words though. And it's scary because you don't want to jump off that ledge. You don't want to cross the line. Because like once you cross that line, everyone's going to look at you crazy. You're going to start making bad moves. It's going to get unhealthy. But at this, like, you really do need to like believe that you're like, fucking, I'm better than everyone. And it's not, once again, it's not about value. Like every human being is the same. I believe that. But if you really want to succeed in whatever industry you're pursuing, if you want to reach the top echelon, you cannot just be one of these modest people that's like, oh yeah, like I'm average. You know, all these like humble people. Let me tell you guys something. Even the people that you think are humble, you know, when the actors or the singers, they win these awards and they go up on stage and they're like, oh man, I'm so humble and grateful and all this. I'm telling you guys right now, for a fact, they still believe they're the best. You don't get to the top without believing that you're capable of doing more than others. It does not exist. It doesn't. And I don't have a single statistic or fact to prove it, but I just know it's true. It's identity over ability at the end of the day. People don't fail because they lack skill or intelligence. They fail because they adopt an identity of, you know, self-doubt, of, you know, they're someone who can't. Oh, I'm not someone that can do that. And then they behave faithfully to that belief. Like their actions follow in step with what they believe. And that's been my experience in life. There was a guy when I went to college. This guy might have been, like, being generous, 2 out of 10 on the appearance scale. He had bagged more beautiful women than any other guy that I saw. And it was because, like, he fully believed that, like, he could just attract any girl. And it just, like, turned into reality. It's crazy. And, like, genuinely crazy. I knew another guy who, he had a stutter. And me and him did sales together. This guy had a stutter. And he sold, like, I think he made, like, $80,000 in a summer. Just killed it. It was because he believed he can do it. In life, there is a transfer of, like, when you believe something, you're operating at a frequency, and that's transferred to others around you. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like how it works. Once again, I don't have proof of this, but in my life experience, that's just how it works. Reclaiming your power, it starts with refusing the story. The first act of strength, it's not actually action, it's doubt. Right? Doubting this sort of narrative of helplessness. It's not like self-doubt, but you're doubting things in life that affect your effort, your risk, your responsibility, and this allows you to realign and re-enter into the picture. You can't believe what you've been conditioned to. You can't believe what society's telling you, because all of that stuff is just bred. It's designed to breed you into mediocrity, is what it is. The bottom line. You can't believe what other people are saying and doing, because what are these other people that are saying and doing these things? What are they accomplishing? They're not getting anywhere. There's a reason why, you know, you grew up where you did. Most of us didn't grow up in some like really elite area. I know I sure as hell didn't. And so, yeah, why would I follow what everyone else was saying when my friends and peers and everybody, they were mediocre? My friends' parents, like, it's a cancer. You have to just isolate yourself and just become fully delusional about who you are, because the power fully resides in your own mind. Your thoughts become your actions. And I'm convinced that anybody who has any experience in life knows this to be true. And if you're watching this, still watching this video, you probably do too. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.